All right, hello everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic, host of the Dave Neal Show. We are going live. I was actually flying home last minute to make sure I was ready for this verdict, and I was listening to it while stuck in traffic. But a wild victory for Johnny Depp. He's awarded millions in damages, wins all of his defamation claims against Amber Heard. We're going to get right into it right this second and show you the coverage as it's coming in. We're going to get the thoughts from both sides, statements being released, and so much more. So let's get right to it. Live right outside the courtroom. We're going to wait and see what we're going to get for live coverage.
There is a dollar amount, and sometimes it almost seems more symbolic than anything because there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to try to get that check. But as Katie Barlow mentioned before, there is an appeals process which is afforded to pretty much anybody in this country in the legal system. Doesn't necessarily mean that the jury's going to rule in your favor.
And it goes the other way as well. Amber Heard was awarded $2 million, not necessarily by Johnny Depp, but by his attorney.
Right.
And so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out as well. Again, we are still waiting outside the Fairfax County courtroom for Amber Heard's legal team. Johnny Depp, of course, is in the UK.
Yeah.
But Amber Heard is there along with her attorneys, and it will be interesting to hear from them. I'm sure they will echo the sentiments that they wrote in the statement.
All right, so we have a statement that Amber Heard. Hello, Sarah. How are you? Bruce, good to see you. Just getting back late from a recording that I was at. And we've got Amber Heard's statement. She just released this 11 minutes ago, and here it is. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. And there it is. So she clearly had this statement ready to go beforehand. She's, I guess, deciding to speak on behalf of all women. And of course, hey, Jenny with a super chat of $15. I guess I get a super chat for every for every $1 million Johnny Depp gets. We'll take $1 in super chats. So her statement was leaning on the fact that, like, look, if you're going to convict me, then you're no longer going to believe other women. And I think what is important in this case and what we're realizing out there is that we need to look at stories like Amber's when they initially come out and have compassion for people, but then also have some sort of appreciation for truth as it exists out there, right? So the problem that existed in my eyes with this storyline is that we all believed Amber Heard when she made allegations because we wanted to, because it was the right thing to do, because why would somebody lie? Well, now a jury of their peers, our peers, has decided after 6 weeks of evidence, testimony, and millions of dollars in legal fees that Amber Heard lied, and she did so with malice and intent to damage Johnny Depp. They awarded him a total of $15 million. He's going to, the $5 million punitive damage, again, correct me if I'm wrong, will then only be $350,000. So just over $10 million. Let's go back to the live court feed.
Not at all, because I was not up to date with the London trial, and I was not up to date with what was happening here. I knew it was here, but I didn't pay attention to it. So I honestly came in with an open mind because I like to approach things that way. And it totally turned my way of thinking.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for being so generous with your time. Appreciate you
Bruce,
talking.
of course, says defamation is not protected speech. Of course, freedom of speech is not the freedom to say something slanderous if it is not true.
It has a lot of microphones on it, a lot of media, a lot of attention here. So as we just sort of talked about the idea that this has really captured a lot of people's interest, and there's been...
Sarah says, this isn't going to set women back. Abuse is abuse. Violence against anyone should not be stood for. And I believe you on that. In fact, so much so that I hope the audience doesn't say, no, you shouldn't believe woman, but the audience says we need to respect and appreciate having a critical eye when the evidence is shown and follow the evidence.
Interestingly enough, says that she came in with no support either way. But what was the moment, would you say, that caused a lot of these folks, especially people who were not initially supporting Johnny Depp, to now support him? Are you hearing anything along? What was the moment in the trial that caused them to have support for Depp?
Hit the like button if you don't mind. Helps us
this was 6 weeks long.
Boost the video in the chat.
What I'm getting from talking to several people is this idea that they feel like the testimony, the evidence, sort of after a while seemed to have added up. You just heard that one perspective where it just they felt like the answers that Amber Heard was giving while she was on the stand, and some of the testimony that was supposed to be in support of Amber Heard didn't necessarily speak to them in the way that some of the testimony and evidence on behalf of Johnny Depp did.
All right, we're going to move away from Fox, and we're going to go pick this up with Court TV and see what they're saying out here.
Was sued, so I do think there are differences in those two trials, but that was the statement issued by Amber Heard's team. What did Johnny Depp's team have to say?
It makes sense that Amber had a tweet ready to go, doesn't it?
A few minutes later, Johnny Depp's spokesperson also issued a statement about this case. It says a statement from Johnny Depp via his spokesperson. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those who closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in a blink of an eye. False, very serious and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed my children, and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me, I feel at peace, knowing I have finally acquired the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men and women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me to share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Truth never perishes.
Truth never perishes. Now, Rebecca says, I'm confused. Why did Amber win?
Johnny Depp.
Why did Amber win $2 million again? That was her counterclaim against Johnny's lawyer, who had called it a hoax. To be quite honest, I don't know why she won that. I don't know how him calling it a hoax when the jury ruled that it in fact was a hoax. I'm not sure, but we're going to get more information on the sort of the nitty gritty details of all of that. Either way, he was awarded $10 million, in shame there. Is this feed a little faster now? Golly. All right, getting ready for the speech from Johnny Depp's team here. At the podium, we have Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez. And Amber Heard got Vasquez. He was awarded $15 million, but $5 of that million was brought down to $350,000, and she was awarded $2 million.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the judge has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much, and thanks to the jury.
Thank you so much.
Vasquez, have you spoken to Johnny? How is he feeling? How's Johnny feeling? Will Johnny and Amber ever speak to each other again?
Will Johnny and Amber ever speak? No, Johnny's not going to speak to Amber again. Won't even look in her direction. All right. Listening to the background people yell. Nice security guy with a mullet.
Really short and sweet. You can see they made a statement. Both of the attorneys, Camille Vasquez went first, followed by Benjamin Chu representing Johnny Depp. And you could hear people cry out, where's Johnny? Why isn't Johnny here? What does Johnny think? And it didn't appear as though they answered those questions. Let me turn it back to you, Vinny and Chanley. So we did hear them say that its supported claims are defamatory, unsupported by evidence, that they are grateful that each has a right to have their case heard in court. That's the nature of our system. And of course, their honor in representing Johnny Depp. They didn't say a whole lot, Vinny.
Doy. Come on, Vinny, where are you?
We've got a rock star moment happening right now.
The guy in the
I don't know if you can
background.
hear me, but behind me, everyone is gathered around Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez. Deputies trying to control it, because you got to control not only the people, you got to control us, the media. Everyone wants a picture, everyone wants a piece of the winning team. Johnny Depp's not here, but his team is, and they are being surrounded. This is lawyers don't get moments like this, by the way.
I've never seen this. Baby, you've seen this?
No, not for lawyers. I've never seen it to this level, this extent. The moment that we're watching right now, I think we're going to get a camera on it in just a second. We're going to whip it around. A lot of moving pieces right now, but you should be able to see it in a moment. But it is just what is it, a gaggle? Is it a gaggle of media?
Gaggle. I mean,
is that what we call it?
And fans. I don't know how they're going to pull away with the crowd around the vehicle like that.
So they're trying to clear them out right now. I feel like we're almost hosting a parade here at this moment, Judge Ashley. It's like a parade moment, right? We're here. It's happening over there. The crowd is going wild. That's what it's like.
The pirate's life for me. Ho, ho, ho.
It's the closest you get in Fairfax County, Virginia, right now.
All right, new people get out there. Give us a like. It helps on the algorithm. We're going to follow this stream right now.
But I'm not sure if we have it yet. But
Johnny Depp wins. Amber Heard won a $2 million countersuit against Johnny Depp's lawyer. It's really not a big deal. On the big defamation charges, Johnny Depp swept. He won it all.
At this case, nobody knew what was happening. And as the weeks progressed throughout the trial, the testimony, it was like a snowball effect. And even though the crowds dwindled maybe inside for wristbands, they showed up every day for arrivals, departures, and even for the lawyers, even when the superstar Johnny Depp is not here in person.
I must disagree with Chanley, though. She said snowball. Avalanche.
Avalanche.
Yep.
Avalanche is what's happening here. This is unreal. But now they've got some control over the crowd. Crowd, you know, they don't respond. When the deputies talk, they listen.
Yes.
But now you've got that moment where one more round of applause, the victorious exit. I can't imagine what they're feeling. You hear the motorcade.
I hear the motorcade.
This doesn't happen to lawyers.
This doesn't happen. I was going to say,
happen to lawyers.
I have worked a very long time for a very good reputation as a trial lawyer, as a judge, and I still get to hear all the jokes
I'm getting
about
requests for
lawyers and
voicemails.
what people think of lawyers when they meet us as lawyers.
There's a voicemail line. Feel free to call the voicemail line if anyone wants to share their opinion. Keep it short, keep it sweet, no trolls. Let's go.
Wow is all I can say. I'm amazed. It's staggering the support that they just got from that crowd as they were saying a few words. Unbelievable. This entire trial, really, from my perspective, has been unbelievable. The momentum of the trial, the number of people interested, the outcome of the trial, all of it is I think we could teach a course in law school using just this trial. Chanley, I've got to ask you this. The two statements that came out from Johnny Depp's team as well as Amber Heard's team, do you all think that I want to hear from both of you, do you think they prepared those statements before the verdict ever came back and prepared one for each instance? Because those came out pretty quickly.
Oh, it did. It was really quick. Within minutes of the verdicts being handed down, the statements were issued. So it does make me feel as though they prepared for both sides, both outcomes, whatever it may be, because they were sent so quickly. It would make sense for them to be prepared like that.
Yeah, be prepared. Well, the question is, though, are you prepared for a loss? I mean, I can't see Johnny Depp sitting down and writing a statement about losing this trial before it's over. I can see him writing one about winning.
There were statements so thoughtful. I mean, that was a lot packed into a few paragraphs for both sides. So it did, I think, took time.
And
Absolutely.
did they do it, or did their PR teams do it? Because they both have PR teams. We know that. They could have been the ones writing it. And Vinny, I'm fascinated now, and I hope we can pull up Amber Heard's statement again. Your thought of, wait a minute, did she say anything in that statement that she shouldn't have said? Because again, she's looking at defamation has been proved against her. I mean, that's a big thing if she said things she shouldn't have yet again.
Yeah. I personally, if I'm I stay away from it with a 10-foot pole. I don't mention the substance of any of it, because you look again at that op-ed. It wasn't like classic defamation, like you are a wife beater. That's not what it was. It was much different. Okay, the disappointment I feel today is beyond work. Oh, it's gone.
Let's go
I'm
to the
even more
first one.
disappointed with what this verdict means for
All right, so we
other
already
women.
read that. We're going to get back to that in a second, but let's just go back and rewatch right here the clip of the verdict being read.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911.
Now, at this point, by the way, Amber has already seen, she's already been told the results, so she already knows.
Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
No reaction from the courtroom.
The statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice?
This is the important one.
Answer, yes.
All right, so the actual malice, all right, that's the important one for convicting, right? It's not just was something false or this, it's did she do it with actual malice? And then that was just for the first count. Every single one of Johnny Depp's accounts that he was suing for came back with the jury believing him.
Was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes.
So it goes.
Yes. That question.
A lot of yeses.
The statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question. The statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question. The statement.
All right, so it's one after another. Now she did get a small victory, which won't be spun. There's no spinning this into a PR win for Amber Heard. Her victory is kind of I'm surprised, and maybe we'll get a breakdown from some legal experts as to why the jury said that she was defamed if everything that she said was in defamation. You know,
while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes.
I'm going to say, how's the statement false? So essentially, Johnny Depp's lawyer said that Amber's whole thing was a big hoax. Well, Now the jury's saying it essentially was a hoax. They're saying Amber lied, which we would call that a hoax. A hoax would be some sort of, conspiratorial mistelling of the facts, right? All right, we'll go back to the court live stream right now.
Able to have that conversation and work it out. Let's watch again together.
It would say something if Johnny Depp was open to it, though.
Right?
If Johnny Depp was open to it, that could be, monumental. If he could say, let's just settle this, let's move on. The jury's spoken, everybody knows. Amber, I will take the $8.35 million. We will settle for $2 million, and I will donate it to the Children's Hospital.
Oh, yeah, the Children's Hospital is getting paid. Probably not the ACLU, but the Children's Hospital is getting paid. The question is, will Johnny Depp take the high road when this is the statement that Amber Heard came out with just 30 minutes ago? The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken. The mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power influence from my ex-husband. Now, every single comment, you have to wonder if there's a full team of people right now scrubbing Amber Heard's Twitter comments, but every single comment is here of people saying, I'm disgusted by what they did to you. So if you only watched Amber's social media, you would think that the whole world is on her side, when that's just not the case. How wild is that? Every single comment here, clearly there's a bunch of people that are not in support of Amber's, doubling down on these lies. And then the question becomes, as people are asking, if the jury just proved that Amber Heard was lying, then does this statement also become defamation as well? Come on, right? All right, let's go back to the courtroom.
Our judicial system is predicated.
All right, so we just heard that, so I'm not going to play that again. And let's hear, we've obviously been following Emily Baker, so let's just hear what she has to say about all of this right here.
Our super chats and questions. Lied on her attorney, saying they weren't defamatory. They didn't argue those things.
Okay, I want to go back to where the trial... Okay, so let's go back to the reading of the verdict and look at Emily's reaction here. Because I think even Emily was surprised how much in damages Johnny Depp actually won. Because I personally thought they were going to reward Johnny Depp $1 in damages.
Yeah, they look pretty stoic. What do you guys think in the
chat? The truth is, he did lose the money. He did lose the job opportunities. So what's fair is fair. What's fair is for them to award him that much. And it's probably smarter because now Johnny Depp can decide to take the high road. Rather than the jury taking the high road and offering Johnny Depp a nominal settlement, $1, but you win, rather than having that sort of participation trophy thrown around, now Johnny Depp can say if he decides to, all right, I'm not going to let you pay. But what would be great if Johnny Depp was like, look, why don't you stop saying, tell Amber Heard, look, quit doubling down and I'm not going to collect the money. Essentially, that'll be my gift to you. And that would be interesting if that actually happened.
Let me make this big. I wonder who the jury's looking at. Probably not Team Heard. She doesn't seem to be.
We got the super chats line up there if anyone wants to pledge or donate super chats, and we'll get the voicemail line going as well.
She's looked at this jury this entire time and is not looking at the jury now. And I think that says a lot. We have audio.
Again, this is a replay of right before the jury read their decision.
Feeds. There we go. Let's see if this one fixes itself.
Is this the verdict of the jury? Yes. All right. Is it unanimous? Yes. Thank you, sir. Jamie?
All right, now we're watching Emily.
Right. The court clerk is going to read the verdict.
We're the human centipede, folks. We're watching Emily react.
2019.
In the moment.
2911. Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
There we go.
Has Mr. Depp proven
wins count
by a
one.
greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement...
And it goes on and on and on. All right, so Johnny Depp, as the commenters alerted me, has a statement up on Instagram. I believe this is the statement we already read here, but of course, Oh, of course Johnny Depp wrote it in old-timey typewriter. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed. All in the blink of an eye. False, very serious, and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond and had a seismic impact on my life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth, regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owed to my children and to all those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing I have finally accomplished that. Johnny Depp, everybody. He did this for his kids. Let's go back live to Court TV. Oh, they'll be right back. All right, let's go back live, checking another one right here. Let's go to the punitive damages being awarded and see what Emily's reaction is to that.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Are they going to sweep all
Question,
three?
the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Whoa.
Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Wow.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Actual
Do you
malice.
find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Wow. Johnny Depp wins count 2.
3, as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition.
I think this is
and
the one he's most
online
likely to
op-ed,
use.
Thank you so much for the super chat
I
there.
spoke up against sexual
Harsharon.
violence and
Much
faced
appreciated.
our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Wow.
There it
Has
is.
Mr. Depp proven by
They
a
swept
greater
it. They
weight
don't
of the
believe her at all.
evidence that
Okay.
question, the
Let's see if
statement
there's
was
actual
made
malice.
or published by Ms. Heard?
Wow.
Answer, yes.
I'm
Question,
really
the
surprised.
statement was about Mr. Depp.
Oh, by the way, Tori with a super chat. Thank you so much, Tori. Just seeing that right now. Says your coverage of this trial was phenomenal. To stay as neutral as you did to encourage critical thinking cannot go unnoticed. Would send you 10 million if YouTube would let me. No, look, yeah, when we watch a trial like this, we can come to whatever preconceived conclusions we might have, which is fine. We're just the spectators. But I think it's really important to let the facts rise to the top. It's very important to not jump to conclusions when we knew there would be a jury. We knew there would be a verdict, and we knew this would all come out. So let's just watch it. And then, of course, my whole goal was to not make any sort of. Now, while I believe Johnny Depp was telling the truth, I wanted to wait for Amber Heard to speak. Why not? Why not wait? All right, let's see what she has to say. And boy, did she contradict herself, and then all the other sworn testimonies from Amber Heard's sister. There's Amber Heard's sister's boss, the mechanic testimony. We released that video today that wasn't shown in the evidence. So much evidence there that wasn't shown in the court. Put it this way. The amount of evidence that the jury didn't get to see that supported Johnny Depp versus zero evidence that the jury didn't get to see that would have supported Amber Heard just further proves the case. He won this with one hand tied behind his back. Elaine with a super chat said, I had to pull off the road for the verdict. Justice. Emily did say he may have her pay his legal fees. Thanks. Hope so. Yeah, let's see what
Answer, yes.
I mean, those are all going to be yeses.
Let's look at Emily's reaction to the damages.
2020 online edition of the Daily Mail. Quote, quite simply, this Waldman, well,
All right,
an
fast
edition of
forward.
the Daily Mail.
I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody
Look at Ben
here
Chu,
when I
Camille.
tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices
What an
and your time and
interesting
your public
result.
service in this matter. Okay, so I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time.
All right, so now let's watch and just see what kind of reaction we get from Ben Chu and Camille. This is their big chance to realize they won. Of course, they're going to be classy. They're not going to.
Wow, we're going to go through those.
But look at Camille. She's ready to. Dog Mom with a super sticker, $5. Thank you so much, Dog Mom. I really appreciate that. This video, along with all my other Johnny Depp videos, is already demonetized, and it's the biggest live stream audience we've ever had. Thank you. Hello, everybody. These videos are demonetized, so I do appreciate any of the super chats.
It's a statutory cap of $350,000 on Mr. Depp's award. Okay?
Interesting.
I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available?
All right, so June 24th, that'll be the next day. Just some paperwork. I say Judge takes a few days off. Maybe she goes down to Cabo, get some relaxation in. All right, let's go back to Court TV and see if they've got live coverage.
Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice. Answer, yes. 2, as to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure
The audience.
representing domestic abuse. And I felt the
All
full
right,
force
so there they are.
wrath for women who speak out.
There they are out there having fun. All right, let's go to some of the voicemails from you guys and hear what you have to say regarding the verdict. Let's see if we got any audio here. I'm not.
By a greater weight of the
Hold
evidence.
on one second.
That
My fault.
question.
All right, let's go to the voicemails here and have a listen. Feel free to call the line 401-213-9828.
Hey, I just want to say I'm so happy that Johnny Depp won. I really do hope, though, that he does make her pay, especially since she didn't pay, she pledged only her payments to those charities. I hope that she has a consequence because she needs to learn. I feel like being in debt to her lies is very poetic. So you're doing great covering this. I'm so happy you have. This is fantastic. And to the guys out there who've been abused by women, we believe you and we support you, and we hope this sets a precedence that violence does go both ways. It's not okay no matter who it's to. And we need to be focused more on the truth and letting men also be heard. I feel like that's super, super important. And to any guy out there who's been a victim of abuse by women, we're not perfect, and it's not okay. And we stand by you as well. Okay, bye.
Thanks so much. And then look, nobody's perfect. It doesn't have to be a gender issue, right? It doesn't have to be. Now, obviously, the most violence that's committed, obviously, but let's put it this way. Women have to worry more about men they know than men they don't know, because most issues of homicides and other abuse doesn't happen from a stranger. It happens from your husband, your boyfriend, your uncle, like people that you know. And this just isn't one of those cases. Bottom line, just because that happens doesn't mean this is it. Now, that, with all respect to victims, survivors of any gender, this doesn't take away from anybody else's story, anybody else's truth. The truth of this story is, if you don't have millions of dollars like Johnny Depp does, you probably don't try your case. You probably don't get this sort of attention. He relied on the world's obsession, the world's sleuthing over this story, and people rallied around what appeared to be all of the facts as they lined up. There was no smoking gun in this story. There was just little bits of evidence, brick upon brick, that added up. And of course, the jury came to a unanimous decision.
Hi, Dave Neal.
Hey.
I just want to say that I am so glad that this jury did see through all the snowball lies of Amber Heard's drama stuff I'm also glad that the jury saw that Johnny Depp didn't confront her all the time. He was always trying to get away from her when she got into these moods of being combative and abusive with verbal language. She was a very jealous woman. That was obvious. And I'm very proud of the jury for really going through the way they did and coming out with the verdict that they did on both sides. It's couldn't have been anything really easy to come up with, but at the same token, very easy to see who is lying and who is not. Okay.
I
thanks.
agree with you there.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for the phone call. We have Starry Mari Music said, I feel that Amber lied, but I feel sorry for her in a way. Johnny has music. What does she have? Now, look, I'm the type too who's just, I'm always empathetic when I see these sort of cases, because I do feel for Amber. I feel for a person trapped in a body that probably can't function the way a normal person can. And it's easy to see her as like pure evil, or she made all these things up, or she conspired against him for this, or she was in it for money. Whatever motivations might exist, it doesn't take away from the fact that she's a human who's struggling herself. But justice is served here. And in most cases, when someone does commit a crime, there's probably some sort of pipeline for what got them to that position where they were in over their head. And what got Amber Heard into this position? Not really sure. Not really sure if she was enabled by Hollywood. She already had a lot of the tendencies to be a certain way. And then when she was cut financially from Johnny Depp, maybe the several years of taking care of him with his drug and alcohol abuse, there was a bitterness where she thought this lying was justified. It's not. She lost. It's not justified. But when you look at the different ways to, like, does someone just wake up one day and decide to be histrionic with no, it's mental health. It's undiagnosed. It's probably accompanied by also being a beautiful woman, right? A beautiful woman who probably gets away with things that others might have called BS on in the past. I mean, that has to play into it too. So very interesting stuff. We'll play a few more voicemails in a couple minutes, but let's go back to the live stream here.
By clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice.
So they're recovering
Answer,
this.
yes.
Let's go back to right after the trial. We're gonna go back to right after the verdict was read and just get the live reaction as it came in right afterwards from the court TV folks out here. Let me just go back to the beginning. Here it is.
But one of those who was so attentive and a note taker, and I thought, I think he's the foreperson. So they go back out of the room to fill out the rest of the forms, come back in, the verdict is rendered, and it took a while to read this verdict, right? Because it was 6 different statements and findings. So as it unfolded and was read, I was watching the jury, and they didn't have anything on their faces, stoic for the most part. However, I did notice the foreperson, juror number 7, before it turned to Amber Heard's side of this case, he kind of lifted his head like a deep breath, but a confident one, like, right. Here it comes. And that was the only thing I noticed from the jury the entire time while the verdict was being read in the courtroom. Now, the gallery was holding hands. The Johnny Depp fans, they were holding hands, bracing themselves, and you could tell they were pleased with this outcome.
I have to, I just want to put my head down and my heart would stop, right? Like, if you're one of those people, one of those parties, I just think, whew, your heart, anyone on the jury, Vinny, don't you think they must have just felt like they're waiting, that their heart has stopped, waiting to hear what's next?
Yeah, and the thing with this verdict that made it so different was the fact of the delay. Like, we knew someone had won. Someone had won this case. We just didn't know what the number was or which side had won, which to me added a whole nother level to what happened, Chanley, inside that courtroom.
All right, so we'll get to some of the conversations happening on Twitter right now, and we have some good ones. In the age of the Kardashians and social media influencers, do your best to make your daughters become the next Camille Vasquez and Dr. Shannon Curry. Absolute legends. And sure they are. By the way, for those wondering, we are keeping a live chat on whether or not Camille has responded to my Instagram. And let's just see if we have a breaking news update here. Hold on, breaking news. Let's just do a quick refresh here. Camille Vasquez still has not responded to my Instagram friend request. All right, just, play hard to get. She doesn't want to be friends, and no big deal. Let's go back live over here and see what Fox News is saying.
Question.
All right, so they're just doing a replay. So back to the Twitter here. Go back to the timeline. We've got, let's see here, Johnny's speech on Instagram. We already shared that speech. Oh, look, he had a whole, I didn't realize he had, we only played the first page of his speech. Sorry, we only read the first page of his speech. So let's go back to it. Here's the second page. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me to share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas nunquam perit. Truth never perishes. Signed, Johnny Depp. There. What does this even mean? I don't even know. Johnny Depp he's like, can you imagine? He's like, I need a typewriter. We have an email and a computer. I need get Johnny Depp a typewriter. Okay, only Johnny Depp can pull off a typewriter these days. All right, so there he is. That's his truth, and calls out the media a little bit, doesn't he? Innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and in the media. And we do live in a world now where media has niched down to a side, left, right, support this, support that, freedom of speech, woke. There's different agendas that exist depending on the audience. And of course, media companies receive their revenue in part from sponsors, in part from how many views and clicks they can get on a video. And rather than be an ABC and NBC, a CBS of the olden days where everyone would tune in to watch, we're niched down to an MSNBC, to a Fox, and it's garbage. We need to do a better job with how we consume media, both on Facebook and other social medias, where we don't just read a headline and accept that as the court of law, where we find information from its original sources, where we look past a clickbait headline and read a full quote, not just the snippet they want you to read. If possible, listen to whatever is information is given to us in its original media, which means if someone gave a speech, listen to it, hear the context, hear the tremor, hear the vocal beats of what they're talking about. And in a world where we can improve the three-dimensionality of our media, where we can have access to video and all sorts of content 24/7, we need to do a better job of expecting the media that we consume to live up to the standard we set. And if they don't live up to it, then we need to go find media that will. That's important for us moving forward, because it is garbage what exists out there, and garbage that, and look, we can assume people are operating with their best intention. The op-ed, they who wouldn't believe a woman if she claims she was abused? The ACLU was on board. They wanted maximum exposure 3 days before Aquaman came out, and boy did they get it. In the ACLU, they should be paying probably the court fees here. And I'm sure they will. I know they asked Johnny Depp for like $80,000 or whatever for court fees, but they are guilty of either not finding enough facts before running on a story. I don't know how this will be broken down with journalistic ethics, but not looking good. All right, let's play a couple more voicemails.
My name is Carol. I'm from Oregon.
Hi, Carol.
And I had a question. I heard the judge say something in the Depp case about a $380,000 cap on damages. If that applied to Amber Heard and also to Johnny Depp, wouldn't that mean that would cancel it out?
Well, not exactly.
Curious about that. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Carol in Oregon. So not a legal expert here, but the way I took it, the $10 million didn't have a cap, but the $5 million award could only be, because it was more than a year ago. I believe that was the case in the state of Virginia. That $5 million award could only have a maximum of $350,000. So Johnny Depp wins $10 million plus $350,000. Amber Heard wins $8 million. I'm sorry, $2 million. So Johnny Depp nets $8,350,000. I think I have that right. Either way, numbers at this point are probably not the biggest deal. What happens with whether or not Johnny Depp gives any information on how he plans on collecting this, if he does, or if he's going to donate it. Again, like I said, initially he wanted money donated to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of LA, but now as he's probably seen how the ACLU collaborated with Amber Heard, I'm sure he's not going to want to donate to that organization, which is a real bad thing that they, an organization for civil liberties, didn't. I don't know. You hate to see the ACLU lose a defamation lawsuit. Put it that way, because they're supposed to be there fighting for everybody and fighting. So for whatever reason, Amber Heard thought she had a First Amendment right to her speech, but of course, speech isn't protected when it defames somebody else. All right, a couple more voicemails.
Hi, my name is Connie.
Hi, Connie. That's my mom's name.
I'm not sure I understand exactly what part she won, Amber Heard won, but I have to watch this things a little closer. However, I think that as a public and a supporter of Johnny Depp, I think that we should all try and, whatever movie he does in the future, he should absolutely have us all go and see it in theaters and whatnot, just to give him the support to build him back up. And especially Disney needs to get him back into being, our love, the most loved pirate of all. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Johnny Depp will boost the box office of whichever project he does next. Let's just put it that way. He's already going to get a lot of free media because he's Johnny Depp, but he's going to get a ton of press now. And he does. I mean, he's been rumored to be in the next Beetlejuice. There's a lot out there. All right, let's continue playing. I'll play a few more voicemails in a minute.
What was that moment like? They're at the bench and then they turn around, the attorneys, and they come back. I mean, this doesn't happen.
Our cameras don't pick up their faces when they turn towards the gallery, so I'm trying to scrutinize their faces. All pleasant
leaving
looks.
the courtroom.
They knew someone at that point had a defamatory finding. We didn't know who.
Right.
So they were both pleasant looks on the side of their faces. So nothing to avert. They knew someone was going to be awarded damages at that point. I did notice a little bit more of pleasantness and smiles, looks towards each other on Depp's side of the courtroom, with Camille Vasquez, the young attorney, sitting next to her on the left, and of course with Ben Chu as well. He would turn and kind of take in the gallery at times. Not as much from Amber Heard's team.
Yeah. So let me just say, Amber Heard just left. We just showed her leaving the courthouse. Pretty much a straight, efficient beeline from the courthouse to the truck. That was it. So a perfect time. Chanley, I understand that you may have a statement that's been issued by the team for Amber Heard.
I sure do. Amber Heard's team wasted no time in issuing a statement, and here it is, a statement from Amber Heard. It says, "The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband."
All right, so of course Amber Heard doubling down right there. But now, here's what is going to be really important for me to express to everyone out there. Victims of domestic violence need not fear that they won't be believed. Let me say this one more time. And let me say this loud for everybody in the back. Victims of domestic violence, survivors, people like, that closely, like my mom, like others that are in my life, need not fear that their stories won't be believed. When it comes to issues of deception and lying, in most cases, people with mental health problems, histrionic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, they're going to attract people of fame and influence. You see it with athletes. People go, what? Why would women lie? Why would men lie? Why would anybody lie about anything? Well, if you were going to lie, it wouldn't be to the, the guy working the cashier at Trader Joe's. No offense to him. It'd be at the nightclub with, there's a magnet that attracts abuse, and it is people of influence. So we need to remember that people don't lie about things as heavy as domestic violence in the majority of the cases. Mother Jones here, don't know the website, says, and the winner of the Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard trial is men. No, the winner is Johnny Heard, oh boy. The winner is Johnny Depp, okay? And the winner is truth. And regardless of gender, men, women, anybody else out there, I'm pleading with you guys, my audience right now, continue to believe victims. With that said, we can believe victims and still pursue a truth that may be separate from somebody's story. Do we understand? Are we on an agreement here? So anyway, this reporter says it's not illogical for survivors to pause and say, is it worth it to come forward? I understand the argument. I totally understand the argument, and it's messy because you could apply this to people. Well, Amber Heard lied, so someone else must be lying. I totally understand that that logical way of thinking. But Johnny Depp shouldn't pay the price for a standard that says believe everybody. He shouldn't pay that price. And there are going to be instances that play out. The very small minority of instances where people lie that will play out in society, and we need to follow the facts. Now, we live in a world now in 2022 with so much digital evidence that exists. We had Amber Heard not sharing her iCloud or the original photos. She was withholding as much as she could to hold on to whatever narrative she had. Okay? And the truth is, for victims out there, or people that unfortunately in the future may become victims and survivors, it's important to, and again, it's hard to say because whenever anyone has some sort, whenever anyone has some sort of issue where, some horrifying issue that I would pray I never want anyone to go through, I understand that cops are not well trained to deal with survivors and victims of domestic violence. We need to do a better job in society of nurturing people so that they can come forward. Now, most people that are victims and survivors don't coordinate with the ACLU 3 days before the release of their movie. So when you follow the money, whether it's through politics or military spending or whatever it may be, pharmaceutical lobbying, when you follow the freaking money, you can find the sinister acts. And there was a lot of money on the line here. And then there was a lot of mental health issues on the line here. But in the end, facts do matter. Facts do matter. Let's go back and listen to a little bit more of this coverage.
I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe
now, and again, I hate to, maybe I'm naive, but I don't want this. I want all of us to look at this story but maintain a critical eye to believe victims, to give them the nourishment they need to come forward, the safety they need to come forward. All of that. With that said, and people have asked me this in the past, Dave, how can you believe one side and believe the other? We've had plenty of instances where I go, look, I don't know how to suss out who's lying in this scenario, but before we go to court, you want to believe somebody when they tell you what they went through. And I think we should operate from that place. I think we need to operate from that place. And then we can let the court system do its work, which is rough out there. It's rough that a victim might have to prove that they're a victim. That is rough. And hopefully moving forward, we can find ways to hold on to digital evidence. And I've talked about this with my fiance, and everyone who knows me knows I think about this from every single angle. My mom was in an abusive relationship, like many people have been in. And so I empathize with the struggle and burdens she's carried her whole life. in how she has never opened up to me about those struggles and what that must mean for her and her journey to come from a place with 2 small children where she wasn't able to tell her story as a survivor, as somebody fighting for protecting her kids. So we do believe that, but we also need to know that it's 2022. If you are abused, and I can understand why people aren't out there collecting evidence and doing this and that. I can understand the shock, fight, flight, or fright. The idea that you're just trying to survive in the moment. You're trying to maybe live with someone who's abusive to you and you're just trying to please them. That all exists. This story does not negate that. And it's important that we don't light Johnny Depp on fire because we need to believe all women. It's important that we believe victims and at the same time, let the system play out the way it's supposed to play out. And there's a lot wrong with our system, not just in the US, but with the media and the international circus. There's so much wrong out there. But the thing that got right was how this all played out. And it took a lot of time and money. And there's plenty of circumstances where people aren't believed and they don't bother fighting it and they just move on with their life and they get fired or soft canceled or all these other things can happen. Absolutely. But this is an instance where when it was let to play out, the truth rose.
I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting a jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had.
I thought, what about my rights? Now listen, Amber, you almost know that people either haven't been following the case or are so biased when they just say, hey, we already won conclusively in the UK. And then anybody who's followed this goes, oh my gosh, the judge in the UK trial had all of these other connections to Amber Heard's team. It was so biased from the beginning. At the time when we were following the money, the judge believed in the UK that Amber had donated all that money. Because why would she lie? She would be perjuring herself. Now she goes, well, I donated. I pledged. No. I'm pledging these super chats. She didn't donate. She pledged. She did pledge to donate. She just didn't donate. She pledged. She just didn't do it. But all that was believed. She was believed up until those points. How big of a deal that it was allowed to hear from the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of LA representatives as they said she didn't pay. How big of a deal was that? All right, let's see if we can, let's see whatever updates we have. Of course, we're going to be waiting to hear anything else as it comes in, and there might be a lot. So let's do this. I'm going to go back to, let's just rewind a little bit here.
Pro Johnny Depp, not the Johnny Depp.
And we will go to a couple voicemails as they come in. I'm sorry, I can't get to all of them. I'm going to try.
Hi, Dave Neal. My name is Renee.
Hi, Renee.
I'm from Tracy, California. And I would like to say to all men, all women out there, truth will prevail. You do have to really, really look at the facts. Really hear what they're saying. Do your investigative work. Don't take just the person's first statement or the last statement said. You have to weigh the evidence and weigh it heavily. Truth matters and truth will prevail. So for all the men and all the women who end up getting abused, God help you and help you lead you to the truth. Thank you.
Renee, thank you so much. Look, Renee, I'm sure if I could just project to you, I'm sure, Renee, you called my voicemail number thinking you knew exactly what you're going to say. But when it came time to share with me, the emotions come out. And I respect that. And I appreciate that because we all have stories. This is interesting, not just because they're celebrities and because it's this wild gladiator circus-like thing happening here. It's interesting because we all have stories from ourselves, our close friend circle, and others of abuse. We've all seen it. We've all been a part of humanity, which through the history of our times has been riddled with war and violence. And when we watch this, we go, we just want the truth. And I thought there would be a little bit for both sides to take away. I didn't think Johnny was going to sweep the way he did. And I thought the damages would not have been in the millions. I thought it would have been just chump change, So I'm very surprised by the verdict. With that said, people don't win defamation cases that often, but that's why you take them to court. All right, let's go to John.
Hi, my name's John Magnotta. I'm from Connecticut, and I just want to say this case took Johnny Depp, in my eyes, from being an actor to being a man, a perfectly flawed human man. Takes a lot to do that to someone you've never met before, but God bless this jury and this verdict. And hopefully Johnny Depp will be able to move on with his life now. Thanks. Goodbye.
All right, thank you. John in Connecticut, he says, Johnny Depp is a perfectly flawed man. And that is right. He never claimed to be, and we'll go back to his Instagram post he just released. He never claimed to be a saint or to be perfect. He just said he never physically abused Amber. It doesn't mean he's not riddled with his own toxic demons. My biggest hope for Johnny Depp is that he can find whatever level of sobriety that works for him, and he can elevate himself to a place where he's supporting organizations like RAIN. Now, if you're not familiar, we're going to go plug them right now because this doesn't take away from the fact we have a huge domestic violence and abuse problem in our country. Organizations like RAIN.org, and again, if you don't want to send them a donation if you can. It's a hotline. They're there to help people and navigate them through actual abuse. Wouldn't it be nice if the issues that exist are elevated because of the Johnny Depp trial? So the whole idea of, this is just a victory for men in general. How about we take this energy we all feel right now and donate it to causes that are helping actual victims, which do exist out there? If you're one of them, you can chat now, both by a phone call. You can chat online. The National Sexual Assault Hotline, it's free, it's confidential. Planned resources, we've talked about them a lot in the past on our other channel, and they exist out there to help victims that otherwise might not know where to go. Pranjal with a super chat. Pranjal, I don't even know what that denomination is. Is that, I don't know what kind of, it says pledging the rest of the 1 million in the next 100 years. Thank you so much for your donation. I'm not sure where you're coming from with that, but I really appreciate it. And let's see what this article was saying here, because I'm not fighting back against the idea that there will be men and women that are in situations where they say, people lie. I still believe that the majority of humans tell the truth when it comes to their domestic violence as survivors. I have to believe that most people gain nothing from telling the truth. In a circumstance like this, Johnny Depp put everything on the line for his legacy. And probably, and to be quite honest, probably less because of how he would be treated, but because his kids would have to bear this if the truth didn't come out. And even with him being sort of exonerated here, that doesn't mean it all just goes away for him. He doesn't need the money. It's not about that. It's not even about working. He's going to work in the future. He has enough money and homes and properties to sell. It's not about that. It's about legacy and knowing that what is the world worth to you if you're seen as something that you are not.
Against sexual violence.
All right, so let's go back live and see if we have any updates here.
A Robert Rodriguez film.
You're gonna make me kill a blind chick?
All right, let's just go back a little bit here and see where this segment started.
In the Washington Post online edition.
Before we project her future, let's look.
All right, Amber Heard's future. That's what this clip is about. Will she work again?
Her career before.
She's got 2 projects in post-production, so she's got projects coming out. I'll tell you what. How much would it suck to be the guy? A lot of these projects get made by smaller production companies with private funding. So in some cases, say you have $10 million and you can raise money to shoot a movie, hoping that it'll make $50 million, right? Somebody raised money for the films that Amber Heard was in, probably having no idea, probably started this process years before the op-ed came out. They hire her, they shoot a movie. Now all of a sudden, people are going to all want to cancel this movie. It's almost like when Bill Cosby, when everyone wanted to fully cancel Bill Cosby, rightfully, they also canceled The Cosby Show, which a lot of writers and producers and people that are either retired. Oh, by the way, thank you so much for the super chat, DD. Much appreciated. A lot of people that worked on The Cosby Show have received residuals for that show. So there's going to be a lot of people that worked on the movies that she has coming out that are probably going to lose out.
For this trial.
I'm with you until the end.
Hard road. Now that's a hell of a ride.
Just so you know, I don't pick up hitchhikers.
I didn't have my thumb out.
Amber Heard's youth and beauty made her a rising star in Hollywood. Even Johnny Depp saw her potential and cast her as his female lead in The Rum Diary, the movie that brought them together.
I'll bet you scream before I do.
But she says her career as an actor was also a source of friction in the marriage.
By the way, just so I know where this is from, could someone tell me on the screen what this super chat, what this donation is? What currency is this? It's, boy, I feel so ignorant that I don't know. But let me know. I'll leave it up on the screen. I'd love to know. Love to know who I'm thanking.
He found something that had been sent to me to consider auditioning for, and he blew up at me because he didn't know about that audition that I hadn't done yet, that I had been hiding it, and was furious at me.
Before Heard met Depp, she had a small part in Machete Kills, a Robert Rodriguez film.
You're gonna make me kill a blind chick? Pretty sure they're gonna take my crown for that.
And she played opposite Seth Rogen in Pineapple Express.
Fine.
Fine?
Don't come. I don't care.
You can really see her career starting to make waves, and after that she starred in the 2009 film Zombieland, Pineapple Express, and Zombieland. These sort of like cult films that have cult-like followings from filmmakers like Seth Rogen, who have sort of huge fan bases. She was carving out a lane for herself.
But her choice of films, she said, came under intense
Oh, Dee Dee says it's an Indian rupee. Thank you so much.
Every time I got a script, it was what kind of, how I was dressing, what kind of behavior I'd have, how did I have a sex scene. Then I started minimizing the kinds of kissing scenes that I had, and eventually I had to change the wardrobe that I could have in the movie. I found myself...
Again, for those wondering my complete thoughts on this, my complete thoughts are that obviously there was so much toxicity in the relationship, and a lie was created, not realizing she'd be called out, not realizing that it was full-on defamation. And when people started believing her lie, she attached herself to that. That's just my thought.
Pushing as many scripts off my desk as I could.
Just to further it, because my thought isn't that you wake up one day and go, I'm gonna get everyone to lie about this case so I can just get them. That's not my thought. My thought is that the lies become your reality because you need to find a way to survive and find a way to be right and find a way to win back whatever damage was done to your image and all of that. Again, none of that's right, but it's almost just like you have to try to put yourself in the minds of people, in the minds of like some people it's literally life or death that they end up winning and on the right side of things. And some people have already mentioned this. They're just worried that Amber won't commit self-harm. And I hopefully can speak on behalf of anyone who's got any morsel of grace and love in their heart, that you want Amber to find help. You want Amber to figure it out as well as we want Johnny to. Case is over. Case is closed. Moving forward, victims, we want to make sure that their voices are heard and that their evidence is collected. And look, it's like I said, it's 2022. There's obviously like, how do I put this? There's no need to have a he said, she said anymore, right? We should be able to. And again, I don't want to live in a big brother state or anything like that. I'm just saying, hopefully in most cases, it's clear as day when someone is sharing their story of abuse.
Heard testified Depp discouraged her from taking certain roles, and the roles she did take became fodder for fights.
He was mad at me for taking the job with James Franco. He hated James Franco and was already accusing me of kind of secretly having a thing with him in my past since we had done Pineapple Express together.
Their argument over James Franco, she says, led to a physical assault.
My back was turned to him, and I feel this boot in my back. It just...
This music's way too dramatic.
In London Fields was also the subject of strife.
That role was a very difficult role. I mean, every time.
Now this is no relation to. Thank you, Janet, for subscribing. Much appreciated. My story has no relation to this, but when I shoot stand-up comedy, I film every single set. There's my memory card. I film every single set because I don't need it, if someone wants to attack me or throw a chair at me or throw a glass of water at me, but two of those things have happened before. You want to make sure that you're covered, and you want to make sure that there's surveillance cameras around. Jussie Smollett. He made this fantastic lie in the height of a movement that was otherwise trying to protect people from police brutality. A movement that's otherwise, there's a lot of people that don't like, maybe administrative or political issues around the Black Lives Matter movement, but its main focus is to protect people from. So Jussie Smollett takes advantage of that by finding maybe the one place on a 3-block corner that doesn't have security footage. And he was believed immediately by the ACLU and others until his story didn't add up and the facts didn't follow his story.
Every scene that involved sexuality or romance was like, I'd look at that on the page and it felt like I'd feel my gut tighten because I knew it was going to be an issue.
It's not clear if Depp's influence was at work, but producers of London Fields sued Heard for breach of contract when she allegedly refused to do nude scenes that they say she signed on for. The case was eventually settled, but Depp in his testimony described how he helped Heard avoid a nude scene in their film together.
If she took her shirt off and she had a red bra on and a skirt, then if she had a red bra...
Can they do this without the music?
When the crowd surged in on her, all she had to do was lift the red bra up out of the crowd.
So it sounds like, on one end, it sounds like Johnny Depp in his testimony is saying he was fighting for Amber Heard to not have to do gratuitous nude scenes. Obviously, if someone wants to do them in a movie where everything's consensual, it's like, go for it. So it could have been that he was using his power and leverage to protect her from... I feel like what happens in most cases, I can't speak for everybody, but in most cases in Hollywood, people do nude scenes until they don't have to because it's horrifying. You have dozens of people on set. That shouldn't be there. Now they closed the set down and they've enacted more rules. But I've worked on movies with a closed set and an open set during nude scenes, and it's borderline horrifying what can happen. And in some cases, it is horrifying what can happen because you're just trying to please. You're so excited to have this movie roll. So when you look at, I think Sweeney, I can't think of her name. When you look at Sydney Sweeney, is that her name? From the HBO show. Oh, geez, I'm forgetting all these terms. She decides she doesn't want to do nude scenes anymore. She's like, they're ridiculous. We don't even need these. So they're just thrown in there. You had the Game of Thrones, the Khaleesi, right? That's her name. She decided, Sydney Sweeney, Khaleesi, she decided, I'm done doing nude scenes. So you see actors, Shannon Elizabeth back in the day, the original nude scene in the American Pie movies, Nadia. As soon as they have the leverage to decide they don't want to do nude scenes anymore, that's what they decide because you're just being commodified for your body. So she's framing it as if he didn't want her to do nude scenes out of jealousy, which could be true, but it also could be true that he was using his equity, clout, and power to fight for her in a movie that otherwise didn't need the nude scene. Euphoria, thank you.
There's no nudity.
Film career will be
I'm getting all the corrections. Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria, Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. Thank you so much for that.
With Aquaman 2, in which she reprises her role of Mera. A petition calling for her removal from the blockbuster sequel has reached nearly 4 million signatures.
And again, if they don't remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2, I don't think it's appropriate for people to boycott Aquaman 2. She's literally 1% of a movie that has so many other people in it that aren't millionaires, that just work grips, lighting, electricity, set design, post-production, titles, stuntman. They need the movie to do well. So don't bite all those other people's hands because you wanna scorn her. She's gonna get paid regardless, right? She already cashed the check. She's been paid for Aquaman 2. Tara says, my mom was abused by her ex. He made sure the damage wasn't visible. He cut her off from friends and limited finances, making escape difficult. But my dad helped her, and she's even happily remarried. So that's, a sad story to hear. Financial manipulation is something we're overcoming in society. In the age of 2022, we're overcoming that. But yeah, for sure it exists. If a man or a woman can control their partner through finances, and I would assume if we had to generalize, it's mainly men controlling women, that's a horrible thing too. Now, obviously, Amber Heard had some money, but not nearly the amount of influence that Johnny Depp had. But with that logic, in this case, Johnny Depp, he footed the bill for everybody. And that we don't see a scenario here, because if there was financial manipulation, you'd think that it would have come out on Amber's side. We don't see that happening in this case, but it is important to note that is a huge problem. That you'll have cases where in a family, the woman might obviously goes on maternity leave or no longer works to be a mother and run the house. And again, more so probably in olden times, right? In the previous generations, but it still exists. There'll be instances where the man's the breadwinner. He's out there making the money, and that'll breed the worst in people. Because I think, shout out to all the moms out there. I think we know there ain't no job out there that's as hard as controlling your brats running around. Okay, maybe a couple, like if you're working outside in the winter, or maybe like a longshoreman or doing electrical work on poles or king crab fisherman. Sure, there are jobs that stink, but it's tough. It's tough being a mom, and I think we all can agree. And so financial manipulation in those things do exist.
And reports that Warner Brothers has reduced her screen time in the movie could spell trouble for the future of her career, says Zach Intom, a Business Insider.
If there is a significant cut in her screen time, I think that tells us what Hollywood thinks they can make out of Amber Heard. That also is not a terrible thing for her. If she's willing to not work in Hollywood, I think that could be a positive for her, because she could work the independent circuit, she could work Europe, and sort of the blacklisting from Hollywood could be a narrative that her career jumps up.
I think it's very rare that the blacklisting actually happens. Usually it's just a collection of people hedging their bets. If you're making a movie for $50 million, you're going to do the safe bet. You're not going to have the Charlie Sheens on there unless you can take they literally take insurance out for actors, right? So they'll take an insurance out. So if some guy offs himself, there's a claim that they file, and actually, they don't lose the money. But if there's 20 other actors that can do what Amber Heard does, because as we know, she's not really known for her acting. She's very beautiful, but I don't think anybody can think of an Amber Heard role that's iconic and unique. She doesn't have that, right? So if I'm making a movie, and the choice is between a no-name person who just, took a bus to Hollywood from Indiana versus Amber Heard, you take the less controversial person, which just reminds all of us out there to find jobs where we have ownership over our fate, so we don't have to deal with being canceled or whatnot, regardless of whether it's worth it.
Off again.
Still with us, Court TV.
Hey, Denise, how are you? Good to see my Chicago friend Denise in the chat.
Let me start with you. What do you think is next for Amber Heard in terms of her career following this verdict?
She's still an ambassador for the ACLU. I think she will continue to speak out for victims of domestic abuse. There may be organizations that continue to get behind her, because she is still, even in the statement that we saw from her team, still going to not back down.
Yeah, I think this coverage is wild by them.
In that problematic op-ed piece.
And I want to thank you. That was your package. I know that we just watched together.
It's almost like we say the idea we want to believe people. Now the jury, with all the evidence that they saw, awards Johnny Depp a sweep, all the victories, and now we're watching this Court TV live, and I guess they don't believe the jury here.
But Joseph Tully, will the ACLU drop Amber Heard now after this?
All right, the big question: will the ACLU drop Amber Heard? My guess is they'll do it very, very quietly. Okay, that's my guess. They want probably nothing to do with this. And you have to think, whoever's in charge of the ACLU. Now, look, we know the ACLU comes from a place where they protect free speech so hard that they used to defend the KKK. They used to defend their right to peacefully protest. And we live in a country where we should embrace that right. We know, we know of lawyers, of Jewish lawyers that have literally taken the cases to support, while working with the ACLU, to support the right to peacefully protest. That's something we need to stand up, even with people we don't believe in their words. And of course, that's the whole idea with the First Amendment and the freedom of speech. It's not about protecting speech you believe in speech that I believe in. It's about protecting speech. In speech we disagree with. That's where we need to be as a society, because when we have protected speech, we'll see bad ideas surface and we'll call those out. And that's a good thing. When we worry about being shamed and having our speech silenced and these things, then people go into the dark corners of the interwebs and find people that believe in them. And then they don't have the normal people to call them out. So we need to use our words to combat bad speech, but also protect it at the same time. I don't know if the ACLU is doing that right now. But we'll have to see what steps they take moving forward.
Is she even going to have any opportunity with the ACLU, do you think?
Boy, I mean, if there's an organization that should support an underdog, it is the ACLU. And I would say that Ms. Heard's best posture at this point is to spin, as a gentleman was saying during the interlude to this, spin it into sort of an underdog story that, hey, I got the short end of the stick. I do represent domestic violence. It is a serious topic. We can't forget about that. So I would flip a coin on that. I don't know what the ACLU is going to do, but I would imagine that they will reduce her role and not put her front and center as they were doing before.
And what do you think will happen with Amber Heard's career in general?
I think that, I agree with the premise that she should, kind of drop out of Hollywood and wear it as a badge of honor and seek independent films and foreign films and that kind of thing. She did
Independent and foreign. Look, they get the news too. All right, folks. Now, Bahamo said ACLU has been losing credibility for quite a while now. Well, it all comes down to like the top dogs and who's running the show over there. But you hope that they could course correct, and I think it's worth giving them a chance. But of course, yeah, it would be comical. Imagine if ACLU supports somebody who just lost a gigantic defamation lawsuit. And not only lost a lawsuit that is so hard to lose. It is so hard to beat somebody in a defamation lawsuit. And of course, we have Johnny Depp doing just that. All right, let's go see what, we're done live over here. Let's go back to a different stream. Some people are recommending Law and Crime stream. So let's check Law and Crime. Let's check that one out. But yeah, this Core TV stream really does feel less like news, and it does feel very biased here. But I am willing for anybody out there, your words and your voice are respected. And if you want to call in with support for Amber Heard, you have my blessing. This isn't a pile-on in any which way. I'd love to hear what you have
tonight,
to
and
say.
she has a big flag where people have written messages of support from Amber.
Okay, so all right, so here we have an Amber Heard supporter. This is someone with messages of support for Amber Heard. Let's have a watch.
Amber, stay strong. We believe and love you always. You are believed. You are within the hearts and thoughts of those who support you. Sydney, your reaction to the verdict?
Disappointed, confused, but not surprised, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, you're confused why?
I feel like it doesn't really make sense in terms of just the defamation part and how it's affected their work life. With Amber, I feel like she didn't really have much outside of Aquaman that is really like a big thing for her. And we've heard how much her part has been pared back. Compared with Depp, he had already kind of been on the downfall of his career because of his drinking and drugs. So I don't think that her op-ed specifically was what affected him. So.
Well, and that's where I think most people disagree. I mean, look, did he do Mordecai and a couple other bombs? Absolutely. Absolutely. But most people don't have the career longevity that he had. And he's relatively young in the grand scheme of things. He'll be playing roles, God willing, for another 30 years. You can look at, for every movie that flops, you can look at, why did it flop? Did it flop because Johnny Depp wrote the movie? No, sometimes you just get involved in a movie and it ends up stinking. He did Black Mass. He played Whitey Bulger. He did a great job. The movie didn't do that well, but he did a great job. Then you have blockbusters where that have lousy writing, Like Pirates of the Caribbean, it's lousy writing. No one's there for the writing. They're there to see Captain Jack Sparrow, with his, sea legs running around being drunk the whole time. And he knocked that out of the park. Will Disney issue an apology? Will Disney comment on this? That's what's going to be interesting. As we know, Johnny Depp said he's not going to do another Pirates of the Caribbean movie for $300 million. But I'm sure an apology would help sweeten the pot.
There are so many opinions have been swirling this whole trial, but you have a group of people out there who is still saying, including Amber herself, that these verdicts are a setback for all survivors of domestic abuse. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. I think it's shown that you can use the court to continue your abuse against someone, and I think it also shows that, no matter how much evidence you have, people are not going to believe you.
Were you out here for most of the trial or just today?
I was out here on Friday when they finished up. And then
again, I'm befuddled because you and I have watched this. They say no matter how much evidence you have, people won't believe you. Where's the evidence? All we have are photos that aren't the original source. We have her pretty much being exposed by TMZ for leaking the footage that shows him slamming cabinets, not slamming, no physical abuse. And all we have as far as evidence go, as far as empirical evidence go, are audio recordings where she admits to hitting him. Doesn't mean he wasn't a bad guy. Doesn't mean he's not a drunk, a druggie. Doesn't mean he doesn't have his own demons. It doesn't mean whenever they fight, he walks to another mansion and it drives her nuts because she wants to. It doesn't mean any of that. But when it comes down to it, it's almost like we watch a different story
and
here.
Yesterday and today.
Why is it important for you to be out here in the heat and be here for this?
Because there's not really anyone else out here for her, and I feel like a lot of the support that's online is not genuine, so I wanted to show her that yes, there are people out here who are supporting her.
Yeah, so she just felt like, hey, someone had to be standing out here.
Did you see that this anchor on the left, that sigh? She goes, okay, like long couple months for them.
For Amber, and look, I give her credit for being out here in a sea of Depp supporters. Probably she had a few nasty things said to her. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, maybe not. Maybe all of the nasty commentary.
Listen, I'll say you this: no one is a fan of mine that is going to talk trash online to people that want to believe Amber Heard. Okay, we're watching this from the outside. In the end, as we mentioned time and time again, put your time and energy into supporting organizations like RAIN.org that offers a live chat, live phone numbers where you can call people if you're victims of assault and other, the sexual assault hotline. It's free. It's supported by people's donations. Put your time and energy into supporting causes like that help victims. This is all he said, she said. Now, obviously, the jury has ruled that she said lies. That's what they've ruled, that she defamed him because the statements weren't true. It's really hard to prove. The judge even sort of weighted against Johnny. As a lot of experts have said, when the judge made her rulings on how the jury should proceed, it was weighted even farther against him. So the bar of what Johnny Depp's side had to prove for the jury to say that it was defamation was extremely high. And the jury came back and they completely agreed unanimously.
Is on the internet.
I feel like actually I've seen interactions. I don't know about today, but I saw interactions between Depp supporters and some Heard supporters.
Was
Obviously,
Amber Heard
the
with her
Depp
sister
supporters outnumber the Heard supporters, and I didn't see any crosswords.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Look,
right?
I mean, there was no scuffles or anything like that.
Right.
The sheriff's deputies didn't have to get involved. But in your time that you've been out here, Anjanette, I mean, we know the crowd has leaned heavily in favor of Depp. But even yesterday, there was a Depp supporter out here. I didn't see him. I mean, a Heard supporter out here.
Hey, we have Rainer in the chat with the super chat. Thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Like a handful that have been here regularly?
Is that the Rainer?
The woman we interviewed, Kylie, she was here from Minnesota for, I think, a week or two. This woman, Christina Taft from California, she had come
4,900 people in the chat. Can we hit 5,000? Hit the like button.
and then she left. And then the guy with the sign, right? We saw him and a couple of others. But really, I mean, I think maybe 10 max the whole time.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, definitely.
Now, regardless of the other facts here, we do know Amber lied in the UK court and in the Australian court. The Australian court is looking into perjury charges. The UK court, that has yet to happen because it was only revealed in the last week or so that she in fact lied. Now look, we can argue all day long. We weren't there. She didn't provide enough evidence for the jury to, whatever, all day long. But I don't know of anybody who's arguing the fact that she lied under oath in the High Court of the UK, that she donated the money to the ACLU and to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. She has backtracked. She said that when the funds, when it did not come out, whether or not she donated, that wasn't allowed in the UK court. Now, we know here in the Fairfax, Virginia court that the spokespeople for the ACLU and for the Children's Hospital of LA both said, she ain't paid us. And she said, well, how am I supposed to pay when I'm being sued? Well, she received her payment in full from Johnny Depp 13 months before he ever sued her. So I think that speaks volumes.
Discrepancy in the number of fans out here. But I mean, look, all issues aside, that's just to be expected based on the size of Johnny Depp's stardom and, his place in American international really pop culture, over the last 30 something years. So anyway, it was good to talk to her, I think, and bring in just another perspective, because we are hearing so much in favor of Johnny. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back,
and look, I appreciate that. I think that's great that they're bringing in different perspectives. Our voicemail line is open. If anyone supports Amber and wants to leave a comment, our voice line is open. I'll play a couple voicemails right now.
Anyone with a brain could see that Amber Heard was lying from beginning to end and crying with no tears. And also, if that's her acting ability, then I don't think she'll ever get another part. Thank you.
By the way, please call back. I love that, what seems to be British accent there. Thank you so much. Go to Jean in Wisconsin.
Hi, Dave. My name is Jean from Wisconsin. I have a point of view. The video in the kitchen, it seemed like it was premeditated and she was trying to set him up. Also, I don't believe she's entitled to the $2 million that she was awarded for the supposed defamation of character slander from the Ukraine. How can the Ukraine situation be judged and awarded money within the United States when that was done over there? That attorney said it like he saw it, and that was there. That was then. How can she be awarded money for that now? Also, her statement that she made about the Ukraine just goes to show that she felt entitled to say whatever she felt like she could say because she did win in the Ukraine. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so Jean, we appreciate you. The UK is the United Kingdom, not Ukraine. For a while there, I didn't understand what you were saying. So that was the United Kingdom, not Ukraine. But either way, that's semantics. I was like, was she in Ukraine? I didn't know. Hey, guys, thank you so much for 23,000 subscribers. We really appreciate you guys really helping up the channel grow. Thank you so much for that. Let's go back and check in on, you know what? There's a few other clips we can get to of different reactions that are happening out here. So let's go to, we had some clips of,
as we are live, the judge is back.
Oh, that was
here's
quick.
popcorn.
We're now going to get, I think, a proper verdict.
All right, we're ready for the jury.
So this is the Andy Signor's reaction to the verdict.
Missed this. Wow. We got one last twist on
We're going to try to play different reactions as we see them.
They handed their verdict over, and the judge had to correct them. They didn't fill in the damages portion, but they acknowledged that there clearly was a defamatory statement. They now took, I think that was 10 minutes, maybe? They did it quickly. We're now going to see who they found the defamatory statements by. Is it by Amber in the op-ed, or is it Adam Waldman's statements via Johnny Depp? Apologies for the quality. Everyone is fooling this feed. Here it comes.
Sick.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Oh, this feed is awful. I warned you guys.
Frozen.
Is it frozen everywhere?
Lower the resolution.
Well, we're sitting, so.
All right, they're waiting.
Okay.
They're waiting. Let's try to speed this up here.
Then it goes to the clerk.
Looks like she's now approved it. I got my mega pint ready. Oh my God.
All right.
Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury? All right. Is it unanimous?
Now, by the way, if you aren't familiar with Andy Signore, I wasn't familiar with his story, but it's actually very interesting. He he did some scummy things. He cheated on his wife, but consensually. And the person who he cheated on his wife with came out and said all these horrific lies about him, that it was coerced, that all these other things. And it forced him to make a video showing all the text message receipts and all of it. But I believe he was initially fired, or there's a whole story on it. It's fascinating. So you get to see why someone like that would take interest in this case.
Thank you, sir. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online
5,300 people in the chat.
entitled,
Thank you guys so much.
Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, has Mr. Depp proven, quote, by a greater weight against sexual violence?
Oh my gosh, they've got two streams going on.
Statement was made that has to change. And by Ms. Heard.
Hold on,
Answer,
folks.
yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Yes.
Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes.
Yes.
He's winning. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Yeah!
Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes.
Yes.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes.
Yes.
Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven, by clear and convincing evidence, that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
All right, so there they are getting their response, and that was just the first of three waves of yeses that Johnny Depp received. I do have a comment from Jessica that said, Dave, can you explain why your videos in the trial have been demonetized? So here's the video right now. This is the video. We're literally live, and it says limited, which means demonetized. I can't explain it. Sometimes, whenever you mention certain words, a video will get demonetized. In this case, I'm assuming YouTube set up some parameters to say any content about Johnny Depp or Amber Heard will be demonetized until manual review, which obviously doesn't help when we make live streams like this. So no, this video is not making any money. I appreciate the super chats. They are not needed, but I appreciate those out there. For my other content, when it's demonetized like that, you can do a manual review where someone will decide whether or not it should be demonetized. Most of my videos, about 80%, end up getting remonetized. My big one from last week that had 500,000 views never got remonetized, so I ended up making, losing thousands on that. But hey, that's what happens. That's the name of the YouTube game. So anyway, here is their responses. They're clearly all happy at the verdict.
2. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women"
This is the one.
in the Washington Post print edition, and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes.
Oh my
Question,
God.
the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
That is so important.
That's it.
3. As to the statement appearing in
losing
the
it.
op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women."
Simone says this case is not about requiring victims to always have more proof. It's about claiming that your proof was in fact proof when it clearly was contradicted at best and doctored at worst. Yeah, absolutely.
That has to change.
Couldn't agree more.
In the
No one needs boatloads of evidence. Just something that sides with your case. That is
seeing
the
in
truth.
real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Yes.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence?
Look at the audience.
Question. The statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question. The statement was about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question. The statement was false. Answer, yes. Question. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Question. The defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question. Due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
Look at the shock.
Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Look at this reaction.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp.
By the way, Steph Lewis says, I also think reactions like this and joyous celebrations are kind of gross. I completely agree with you. It's an ugly circumstance. We are not related to Johnny Depp. There's a lot of projections that happen. As I mentioned, Andy Signor did have his own court of public opinion where he had to fight against accusations that were proven to be false. So I'm sure there's a lot of projection and energy going into that. I also think they're surprised at the amount of money that Johnny Depp was awarded. I think we all are. He sued for $50 million. My understanding was they were gonna give him the win and give him like some nominal $1, customary thing. I'm very surprised at the amount. I think they are too.
1. As to this statement appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media used fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of
that's not healthy. Don't drink out of a chalice like that.
as the sword, inflicting them on the public.
Again, okay,
and
let's just, while we have the audience, let's just look. Pump the brakes on the victory glasses of wine. And again, like I've said before, put that money into donating to organizations that help victims. We need to make sure that there's an energy here parlayed into helping victims. Johnny Depp is going to be fine. His name has been cleared. Everything he's wanted to do, he has accomplished within this case. We have to keep on remembering that it is probably the type of case that will not prove others innocent in the future. So by that I mean, just because he was able to prove that, as a wealthy celebrity, he attracted somebody with histrionic personality disorder that lied about him and all, at the height of the Me Too movement, this tidal wave, just because all that happened doesn't mean there aren't victims out there that don't have the money, that don't have people in their corner, that need help, right? So let's just keep on putting the energy into positives like helping others and less into, this sort of chugging of red wine.
Mr. Depp, do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation?
Sarah says we can drink wine and also support charities. Hey, Sarah, look, I got no problem with having a glass of wine, but chugging a thing of wine. I mean, come on. For me, it's like, look, have a little bit of grace here in an ugly situation. That's on me. Do what you want, guys. Drink your wine.
Answer, no.
No.
2. As to this statement appearing in the April 27, 2020.
Sarah,
online
look, no.
edition of
So
the
here's the
Daily-
deal. So Sarah said, I agree, but why can't we also be hyped that this is all out in the open and truth prevailed today? I get it. People can do what they want to celebrate. I'm more criticizing a commentator for, just being like, okay, all right, I get it. Wow, wild, but it's ugly. Hopefully Johnny Depp. Hopefully this helps him. Hopefully this helps him become a better version of who he is and overcome his demons and all the other issues that have plagued him. Hopefully there's some good that comes from all
Daily
this.
Mail. Quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, we've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10. Yes. Juror number 15. Yes. Juror number 16. Yes. Juror number 22. Yes. Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
Yes. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay?
All right, so we'll pause there for a second. But look at this. I mean, look, I don't think this of being as biased as it is, or a misrepresentation of the facts. But look at, it says, jury finds both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were defamed after a weeks-long trial. Now look, Johnny Depp won this trial. The jury found that Johnny Depp's lawyer called Amber Heard's story a hoax, but that does not compare to the fabrication of evidence and all that went on, to sort of slam Johnny Depp. All right, so we'll keep this going. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hold on one second. Oh, that's the old video there. So I'll sift through this and let me just play a couple of your voicemails. I'm not going to be able to get to every voicemail. There are just way too many. So they have to be under 30 seconds. Let's go to Eva.
Eva calls from Goodyear, Arizona. I feel that women's rights right now have been defamed by Amber Heard. She was lying throughout the whole trial.
All right, I think we lost you there. Yeah. Look, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, our country's in a rough place when it comes to certain human rights and women's rights. This story is unique because It's not necessarily about that. But I hope that stories like this and verdicts like this, as they come out, don't hurt victims and people that want, I don't know, simple things like control of their body and things like that. All right, let's go to I think Tennessee.
This is Virginia Trout. I'm in Tennessee, USA. I just was wondering what's next for Amber. Way to go, Johnny. We all knew the truth and saw the truth. But is anybody going to press charges on her for lying under oath?
Good question.
Or her sister?
Yeah, she's racking up quite the bill. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Okay, so we showed this earlier, but this is Camille Vasquez speaking after the trial.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the jury has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much, and thanks to the jury.
Thank you so much.
All right, so they didn't take any questions there. And yeah, I think it's important that we had Camille be the one cross-examining Amber. I think it's important that women, got to express their opinions and not just assume that everyone's going to believe Amber's side just because of our genders.
Hi, my name is Susan Fitzgerald. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. And I just thought it was ironic, or how apropos it was, that a woman read the verdict. I thought that was great. Thank you for your channel. I love it. God bless.
Well, thank you so much. I completely agree with you on that. All right, so let's go to some live streams that are up and moving. Let's go back here and see what we have going on. They might have been, that verdict is, that live stream's over. A lot of people are finishing their live streams for the day. Let's go back and see the rest of what Andy had to say reacting to this.
How much did they award Amber?
$2 million.
$2 million.
15 million to
Johnny,
Johnny.
15.
So he got 13 million.
Yeah.
They'll cancel each other out. Wow.
Okay, so he's shocked. Let's go to Bruce, our good friend Bruce in Oregon. Bruce, you're up.
Bruce from Oregon. Dave, I'd like to give a shout out to Dave, power recapper, who pivoted and covered this Johnny Depp trial. Plenty of videos and live streams, keeping us entertained all day long. I'm going to kick back tonight with a mega pint, chillax with my alpacas, maybe have some muffins, and get ready for the upcoming weekend. All right, see you later.
The upcoming weekend. Bye. Are we already leaning on the side of the weekend? Oh, nice. That feels good. All right, let's just wrap this bow up here.
Wow. I'm a little thrown by why, and I looked up the part 2 is they're
It's
saying
the Waldman.
Yeah, the officers came to the penthouse, thoroughly viewed and unviewed. There was no damage, so Amber and her friends
In accordance
spilled
with
the
law, I
wine.
will amend the punitive damages award to the statutory cap of $350,000.
Yep,
Mr.
he
Depp's
loses that.
award. Okay.
It's a cap.
I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available?
So he gets 10 million.
All right, so Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Fretterhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right? All right, and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket, okay? All right, again, thank you to all the attorneys for your professionalism, and you're welcome to come to my courtroom anytime. Well, give me a few weeks, but then you can come to me anytime.
I like her.
Thank you.
Judge Penny for Supreme Court. My God, she was so fair and patient.
Oh. I'm going to take a quick phone call. I have somebody who's been waiting for this, and now I'll come back.
Yes, thank you, Laura.
Yeah, the UK case.
I'm thrilled to death. It's wild, but I do have to talk.
The UK case. And again, Sarah Winks. I don't know anything about this, but I don't imagine they're going to switch their verdict. But they could pursue perjury charges. My guess is they won't. It seems like it's just such a, I don't want to say a waste of the court system. in some aspect, when people do commit perjury, when people lie under oath, we should prosecute them because we should establish a truth as it exists or as it could exist. But with that said, I mean, I don't know if I speak for anybody else, but like, I personally just want to see this, everyone move on with their lives. But hey, at the same time, the gladiator spectator in me goes, all right, well, let's see. Let's watch her try to defend, I'm sure she's got lawyers. I'm sure she has lawyers looking into whether or not she did commit perjury by saying, I said I pledged, and the definition of pledged is this. The definition of donation is this. Well, what if they find some obscure definition of pledged, meaning you don't have to fulfill the donation, whatever, you know what I mean? God knows I could imagine a full week-long trial, debating what pledged and donation means, even though we all know she lied.
Okay, come back. We'll be here. We're going to react. Love you, Laura.
Okay,
thank you for everything you've done. Thank you so much. Guys.
Aaron Bray, we're still live. We're still doing it.
I see the tears. I'm thrown by why they found one of Amber's statements to be defamatory. I have a reason, I think. We're going to go through that. But let's not lose the lead story here. Amber, all of them. She lied about all of them. And they awarded him $15 million. That's how sure this jury was, how quickly. All 7 of them exposed Amber Heard for who she was.
Okay, so that is correct. Now a voicemail here.
Hi, Dave. This is Katie. I'm in Pella, Iowa.
Hi, Katie.
Listener.
Power listener.
Been following you since Bachelor content years ago, and I've loved following your Dave Neal Show with all the trial, but I was really surprised with all of this.
Oh, it looks like we lost you. Looks like your phone got disconnected. But Katie, thank you so much for calling from Iowa, a power listener here. Let's go to Ridge in Oklahoma.
Hey, Dave. It's Ridge from Edmond, Oklahoma again. Now, before you hang up on me, I just have something to say. Since Johnny Depp won, I want to give you a present.
All right, I know how this is about to go.
I have to admit, I am actually Fred from Ohio. I'm Fred from Ohio. Yeah, that whole voice thing. I just want to say, man, you've been a good sport through the whole fucking thing. The people, making jokes and stuff about me, I'm glad you guys had fun too. I'm glad everybody got to have fun with it. You're a good guy. Thanks for, not freaking out on me and all that, but all right, well, bye.
Hey, we got a bye. What a great way to end the trial. We get a phone call from Fred there. Oh yeah, no, look, I'm troll proof, Fred. Can't troll me.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. So many people out there were fighting this for so long, saying Johnny was the monster. They just bought it, and now he has the...
By the way, Fred is good on his voices. He's got like 15 voices. I think Fred's got a personality disorder, but we like it.
Watch Amber on that stand. There was a moment
Look at everyone
I
hug.
did feel for her, but then I sat and I thought, you know what? I don't feel an ounce of pity. You push yourself
Who's
here.
the guy who's this guy with the mullet? Is he security? Or is he a lawyer? He's got lawyer in the front, hung jury in the back. That's what he's got there.
You took it so far, and what you did is sickening, and you're lucky you're not going to prison. You are so lucky you're not going to prison for what you did. You didn't fool this jury. They didn't believe you because you're a liar, and we've been saying it forever, not because we're Johnny Depp fans, but because we knew. We knew through the evidence with people like Laura B and so many people. I am so proud to be part of this movement. I am so happy to wear this shirt. I'm going to wear it forever because of what we did here together. I am so proud of all of you. I'm so happy. Steph, I saw you getting extremely emotional. I got to get your reaction.
This is a very, very rare example, guys, of a victim of DV being able to go to court, face their monster, and win. And part of the survivorship community, we got to take these wins any which way we get them. And Johnny Depp not only just won for himself, this is a big win for our community. And it just shows that it can be done. It's hard, it's difficult, it's a long road, but it can be done.
All right, so there's that. Okie dokie. And if you were not here earlier, we have, we're at 2 hours, still 2,800 people in the chat. by all means, hit the subscribe button. I don't know what news we'll be covering next as far as the Johnny Depp trial goes. We are not a court TV channel. I do cover entertainment news. The Dave Neal Show is a relatively new channel. We've only been around for a few months. I've got my other channel that I do full-time as well. My guess is there'll be some Will Smith stories coming out. There'll be some other things in entertainment news. If you enjoy my sort of, I don't know, objective look at what we're seeing here play out in the media, then do me a favor and definitely subscribe. And if you haven't already, you can join the Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal. There's a link in the bio below. Do I have this other screen loaded up? I might not have this other screen loaded up. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. So I've got my Patreon right down here, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Bonus weekly episodes. I actually do close to daily live streams at 10 a.m. every day. So if you want some more company in the off season or between other news stories, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. Or if you want to check out some of my other content, stand-up comedy-wise, I've got my Instagram at DNeals where I'll be posting more of that. All right, I'm not wrapping it up just yet, but we are starting to work our way out of here. Let's see what else we have here on the interwebs coming in regarding this story. Congrats, Johnny. Thanks, Ben, Camille, and everyone from this amazing team. There they are. Is that her crying? Is Camille having a nice cry there? This win isn't a blow for women. It's a win for truth. Abuse is abuse, it being from a woman or man. It's justice for the right. So happy for Johnny and his incredible team. Let's go to some other hashtags and see what's out there. Johnny Depp wins defamation case against Amber Heard, which, by the way, makes more sense than this title over here. Jury finds both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were defamed. Okay, yes, the Amber Heard was found to have won one count of defamation in her countersuit, but of course it was way less of the story than the actual big defamation case. Let's see, Amber Heard's lawyer in order. Okay, I'm trying to think what's good here. So we saw what Amber Heard said. Now the question becomes, and this is a question we're going to have to ask, will this count as defamation? What she said after the verdict came out. Obviously, this status that she posted on her Twitter and Instagram is something that I'm sure she had run by with her attorneys. But in the end, the attorneys work for her. If she decides she wants to say something, she will say it. Of course, she fired her previous crisis PR team at the beginning of the trial. Didn't like how they were sort of not able to get out better PR for her. Someone said, don't speak for other women, Miss Heard. You don't get to do that when you dragged your lies all over those other women who actually suffered. Instead, you can give them those $2 million you got to try and make up for it. Yeah, of course, Amber said the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. Now, again, to push back on that, it's very hard to win a defamation case. So she's saying that his power and influence is so big that it was able to, I don't know, sway a bunch of impartial jurors and the whole nation. Is she calling all of us stupid? Are we all that dumb? She says, I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. And again, this is why I was not for the mocking of Amber Heard. People said, oh, you can mock Amber Heard because she's a liar. Well, to me, to the casual viewer who's not following the trial, when they see or hear someone mocking Amber Heard, they might conflate that with actual victims being mocked. And that's why I don't think it's healthy. That's why I don't think it's healthy at all. She's going to get what she's going to get. She said, I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. What she's not realizing here, as we've mentioned, is that freedom of speech does not apply when you defame someone else. Your freedom of speech cannot hurt somebody else if it's lies. Johnny Depp did it. She can say it all she wants. She said, I'm sad I lost this case, but I'm sadder that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Sarah in the comments says Johnny Depp never denied that he had done wrong and said things he shouldn't have or behaved poorly in the relationship, but he didn't abuse her and she abused him. Well, and then Steph says, saying you want to F your wife's dead corpse is not healthy and could be considered abuse. Steph, you have to remember, he didn't say that to her. And that is important. If he's using a verbal punching bag to somebody else, a trusted confidant, a friend, that's different. If the punching bag is a human, you cannot punch them, but you can punch a punching bag. So, but for you to saying you want to F your dead wife's corpse is not healthy and could be considered abuse, that's like me saying, hey, punching a punching bag's not healthy. That's considered abuse. Do you know what I mean? So, we have to be able to separate from he wasn't called a wife beater because of words he used. He was called that because he was accused of physically abusing. And of course, Amber's side only had to provide evidence that would support one case, one instance where that was true. And that didn't happen. So that's all. So whenever you see, so obviously when somebody's a drug addict and when someone has a history of, addiction, when someone like Johnny Depp has video of him slamming doors after he, lost hundreds of millions of dollars and 2 days after his mom died. When all that happens, yeah, on the surface, it looks bad. It looks bad for Johnny Depp. We see him at his lowest points. But that's not always the full story, right? And because the trial was aired, we didn't have to worry about PR, snipping quotes. We didn't have to worry about clickbait articles. We got to watch it ourselves. And the jury was reached today. The verdict was reached today. Grinder Spoon says, can TMZ go after her for sending an altered video? No, because an altered video, she sent an edited video, which is a fragment of the truth, but that doesn't mean it's, no, I don't think so. Steph said mental and emotional abuse are just as harmful. Yeah, they can be. But, when it comes down to the court of law, mental abuse, if you were to say things that would be considered emotional abuse, it just doesn't line up the same as physical abuse. And I'm not saying it's not as harmful, but Amber Heard telling Johnny Depp, she cut his finger off, right? But she also said some mean things to him. So we obviously know that the toxicity was there on both sides, and that's just not what the conversation was about. And that's where it becomes tricky, because we look at it and we go, oh my gosh, he's a horrible person the way he did the things that he did. And well, with more context, we realize there was a lot of evidence that needed to be provided to prove that he did not do what he did, and the jury sided with him. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you, Molly, and everyone else. I appreciate all the nice comments. That's going to do it from me right now. I've got a lot of content to make that's going to be up for tomorrow morning. So if you don't mind, I would love it if you came back to my page tomorrow to see what we have. I'm going to make several videos, probably 2 or 3 today, and we'll release them tomorrow. And maybe if there's any other breaking news or any other big parts of the story that come out, we'll go live. So just stick around, hit the subscribe button for all of that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys again so much for believing in my coverage of all of this. Oh, look, we got a super chat from Nicole Marie. Thank you so much for that. $10. Said, couple minutes behind here, but can we all just appreciate Dave's joke about the dude in the suit with the mullet? Lawyer in the front, hung jury in the back. Dave, you're the best. Glad to be here. I'm glad you appreciated that. Let me tell you something. In a defamation lawsuit, it's hard to get humor in. We're trying to play to the room, be respectful to all of those out there. So not exactly the forum for all of my jokes, but once in a while, a nice mullet joke never harmed anybody. Anyway, thank you guys all so much. I will be back. I've got a ton of content coming your way. If you haven't watched my other videos, the one I released earlier today, I have to tell you, it already has like 70,000 views, but it was actually pretty interesting. I released a video earlier today. I'm going to show it to you guys right now. It was, let me just go back and see if I can find it. It was a video. I read, here, I'll show it to you right here. I read the, deposition, the sworn testimony. Where did this guy go? There it is. Here, the shocking things Amber said to Johnny's mechanic. So again, you might be done with this case, and I totally respect that. But if you need a little more content to simmer down to, wild what she was saying to this mechanic. So I've got more content out there. You can go check all that, and I'm sure there'll be more being said from both sides. Although I couldn't imagine. I think Johnny might be done talking about this for a while. I think the results speak for themselves. But there'll be a lot of jockeying for public opinion and all that. So we'll cover it as it comes in. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Be kind out there. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.